they did this porter that was so amazing, and I remember thinking to myself, this is really what craft beer, what beer should be.
Hey all, Amanda here, and welcome to entry 64 of Great Beer Adventure. On today's brief brewery bio, we have another great brewery out of New Hampshire. We head out to the farm and chat with Nicole Carrier about Throwback Brewery.
We got started at Throwback Brewery about 5 years ago, and at the time, my co-founder Annette and I had been homebrewing for about 10 years. And we wanted to start a brewery that supported our love of brewing and supporting local farms and local agriculture. So we're a bit unique. We try and get 100% of our ingredients from within 200 miles of the brewery. And so in that way, we're kind of like a throwback to the way things used to be pre-Prohibition, where all these small little breweries that just used what was around them and were started to really support their community. And in terms of the name Throwback, we also like the notion of throwing back a beer with friends, which also has those community aspects to it, which is something that is one of our most favorite parts of owning a brewery.
Let's find out a bit more about the beers being brewed by the ladies of Throwback.
We, at our Brew Pub here in North Hampton, we have 16 different taps, and about one we dedicate to a cider, but 15 we have on all the time. We tend to have between 8 or 9 beers that we do regularly, and then we do a lot of seasonals based upon either what we grow here at our farm or working with other farmers and what seems to be local at the moment. So some of our biggest beers we do, IPAs, everyone seems to be in love with IPAs now. Our Don Quixote, it's our double IPA. Our Hopstruck Red IPA and our Hank's Pale Ale are our biggest selling beers that we do. We have a Bohemian-style Pilsner called Love Me Long Time. We're going to be starting to can that here over the next couple of months. And one of our most popular beers is also a seasonal. It's built on that Pilsner. We take New Hampshire jalapenos, we roast them, and then we throw them in to our Pilsner. And the beer is called Spicy Bohemian. And so it has this like really super amazing peppery aroma. Tastes like jalapenos, but it's super well balanced. It just has a lingering heat. So that's one of my favorite beers because we love to eat here. It goes with so much food. It goes with pizza and sushi and Mexican food. And then in the summer, we have watermelon from Wake Robin Farm. So we do a watermelon blonde. Next week, we're going to be brewing our rhubarb wit. We also have other blonde ales that we do. It's a little bit later. We have about, like 1,000 plus feet of blackberries and raspberries here. So we'll do what we call Buenas Gracias, a blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, and lemongrass blonde ale. So those are some of the things that we have coming up. And I probably should also mention that our favorite kind of beer is dark beer, which I didn't even mention, but we'll always be a brewery that has dark beer on, even though it's summer. And some of our favorites are Maple Wheat Porter. We do a smoked porter as well, and we have a black lager and American brown ale that are pretty popular too.
So many amazing beers, but just as a little note, this interview was recorded in the spring. So we're going to have to wait until next season for some of those lovely brews to come back out. Let's find out where, other than the amazing brewery that you most certainly need to check out, you can find their beverages.
Our beer we sell most of our beer here at our Brew Pub in North Hampton, but we are at various places throughout the state. Any sort of big bottle shop across the street we are in. Our kegs can be found throughout the state. It's mostly concentrated on the seacoast area. So if you go to places that tend to care about, craft beer, you should see us on tap there.
As we always do, it is time to ask what Nicole's first beer memory is.
There's probably a couple. One would be, I think the first time I had a dark beer, I was in college and Catamount Brewery was just right there. And they did this porter that was so amazing. And I remember thinking to myself, this is really what craft beer, what beer should be. To contrast that, when I graduated from college, I played rugby, and we would play in this Canada-America tournament at Lake Saranac in New York, and Budweiser was the sponsor. And I remember one year winning the tournament, and they all gave us a Bud to drink, and I remember thinking, I guess I really do like beer, because there's beer for everything and every time. And I just remember drinking that Bud Light and being like, after playing 6 very hard rugby games, it was actually pretty enjoyable. So just to contrast those two there, we love dark beer. I love my dark beer. It's probably my most favorite memory. But again, I feel like there's room for all different kinds of beers here in the U.S. So.
Thank you so much to Nicole Carrier for chatting with us. I need to get back down there real soon. Who wants to join me for a beer? For links to the brewery's website and social media, head over to the show notes, greatbeeradventure.com/064. If you all, our fabulous co-adventurers, would like to support the show, check out our Patreon page. For less than the cost of a beer, you can show us some love. Go to greatbeeradventure.com/support. If you want to see even more from our adventures, follow us on Instagram @GreatBeerAdventure. And be sure to subscribe to the show. That way, you won't miss a thing. Great Beer Adventure is part of the Great Pint Society. Cheers.